Hello, good afternoon, everybody. As you can see, my mic has given me fits. Everything that can on a Wednesday is going to screw up. You've joined the Lady Hippy at the bar live. The Wicked Lady Hippy, if we want to go with the whole title. I have a title, is that great? Love you guys. If you see me, hit like something, do anything. I had started this a few years back just as something to do because I thought this, and I still do think this is a great medium to talk about anything and everything with everybody around the world. And it's so much fun. And you learn so much. And I see that other podcasters are always dropping this or that video. And I'm like, they've seen the video 400 times and it seems like plagiarism to me. So I don't like to drop a video or anything unless someone asks me. There's really no topic that would be off the table per se, other than mind your manners. And yeah, I'm that young. I try to get up here and talk about what world events, what's going on, anything paranormal out there, guys. Give me a shout. I haven't seen anything good for 2 days. Bring it on in. Um, it's really for entertainment purposes only, is what I ended up pegging it with for the description. I call it social Woodstock. I think it's an absolute blast, and there's no mud. So, not as young as I used to be. So I don't know if I want to roll around in the mud. So everybody that does know me knows my husband will probably go in and out behind me while I'm doing this live. He has things he's going to do. People are coming to the house. We're both retired. It's hard to tell. There's some days when I'm like, "Are you sure?" Because like I didn't get done with everything till like midnight. So, and I'm up before dawn. I never could sleep more than 4 or 5 hours. It's like I'm tired, but I have to get up because I'm not going to sleep. It's just a waste of time. No, I get up and get some. There are times when it's a good thing that you make, or for me, make a promise to read the Bible through once a year, like Edgar Casey did, Sleeping Prophet. And it's a go. That one will take you right down the sleepy rabbit hole. And it works like a charm every time. I might get through 4 pages and I'm dozing off. So it's a good, uh, what do you call it? It's just a good aim to hold on to. Can I do this today or not? They had plenty of stuff on here that I also caught up on current events. I'm not going to be in on Thanksgiving, so I'm going to end up taking. I go on next week, Monday through Wednesday, but then I won't be back until Monday of the next week, so that I can go out there with the husband. I'm at the family bar. My husband and I, we retired. He was redoing the house, repainting, pulling carpets, putting in wood floors, and things like this. And they saw a little bar they thought would really look cute. I said, it's a small house, but we'll figure it out. Yeah, go ahead. He calls first. He calls me. He says, this bar is a lot bigger than I thought. Can you go ahead and pull the chairs and the table down a little bit? Go ahead and take the legs off the table. I was like, what has he done? And he survived stage 4 throat cancer, which is, we had hospice here. It was that close. And so he's kind of, as long as he's paid the bills, he knows it's kind of kosher with me. Whatever the hell you want, let's do it. It's hard to live through that kind of thing. And so he says, it's bigger. And I have to take the table out. Well, yeah, we won't be able to get it in. And I need to at least get it in so we can figure out what we're going to do with it. And so finally he gets it in. My grandson pops around because he did it by himself. He went to pick it up by himself, and their father, our grandfather as well, helped him to load this in. This takes up my whole, what would have been the space for the dining room. So we made one great space through the house at the bottom. You can visit the kitchen or the master bath, and put the bar in. And I had to take everything out. We had a couple of china cabinets. All that had to go. Bookcases, and all that had to go. So some of it's upstairs, some of it's out in our storage building. We've got one of those red barns with the white piping on it. I love that thing. And it's made of cedar wood, so you don't get the bugs don't get in and all that. Apparently, it repels them. And it's worked for us for 15 years. I mean, we had just bought it just before we moved here. So my husband got one china cabinet. I call it a hut, like in Germany. It takes a whole while, but it did let me put all of my glassware, stemware, all my good things in there. And that was nice because we have fucking cats. This is not for children. Army veteran, published author, grandmother of two, mother of one, and you just saw the husband. That's enough background for me. I like to have, I quit smoking. They made me quit smoking about 5 years ago or more. So I vape. But when I'm up here with you guys, I'm allowed to have one of my cigarillos. A friend of ours came to the bar and he whipped one of these out. And I was like, oh, please let me buy one of those. It was like, okay, here you go. And they were all stunned because they thought for sure I was a female. I wasn't going to like this thing. And I do. I smoked these, like I said, when I was in Europe. We sold the American cigarettes. So, yeah, they loved them. Jack Daniels, cigarettes, and ice cream. You can buy about any German. Mm. Also, he allows this because while I'm talking, and I tend to be one of those that a talker, it goes out. And it's kind of my one little hail back to doctors that I don't like made me quit to begin with, but then I've seen how much they cost since I quit. I'm like, you're kidding. They're like $10 a pack. And I was like, what the fuck? No. Then I heard they snuck in something about the hemp products. So they're throwing the hemp industry, all these, and they are medicinal as far as herbage goes. I mean, they're great shops, and they even our VA has. I'm not sure how that works, because I haven't followed through, but they have approved it medically. Everybody, almost, I think, most of the 50 states hadn't taken a dive there lately, so don't quote me. But they want to tank that too. They just stuck that in the bill that they had to sign because they were stupid and left the government open. And it was the day after that they was voting that Senator Kennedy, the day before, Senator Kennedy out of Louisiana, great guy, funny, said, I've been wanting to put this bill through. Now's the time to put this bill through. He had a bill that said if you shut down the government, you don't pay the government workers, you don't get paid because you work for the government workers. Nobody voted yes on this thing. Except, of course, probably Senator Kennedy. He's out of Louisiana. He's funny as hell. He has a book out, too. I can't remember the title of it, but you can just search him by name. Then I also saw that John F. Kennedy's grandson, Carolyn's child, his sister's child, is running for Senate. That scares me just a little because John F. Kennedy Jr. Had just finished publishing his book, magazine, George, that was going well. They were flying out to Martha's Vineyard to a wedding. This was a flight he had taken many, many, many times. Always the same flight path. Well, then they said that he did not file a flight path, so we've got to find him. Took him 5 days, and they didn't find him until the people whose stuff was their plane stuff was washing up on one of the beaches, and they called him. That's how they found John Jr. Then they found that Caroline had them all cremated, and they came back out and poured them out the same spot. I was like, people just strange. Strange. And I also said I would mention Charlie Kirk every time I got up here. This stinks. This stinks to high heaven. Like the person that is supposed to be his chief of staff is what I've gotten from Candace Owens and a few other clips I've watched. And again, if you want me to throw in a clip, I will. You see this guy as the CEO. He's standing maybe less than a foot beside Charlie. You hear the crack report of the rifle. And then he's gone. He's stepping away so fast that it's not even a whole second has elapsed yet. He's already stepping with his phone. And then finally the cameras pick him up as he goes down the parking lot, way down the parking lot. Did not look back, did not offer assistance. I don't, what? I mean, this guy was, what? I keep hearing things and seeing things like this, and I'm like, this so just don't make. It just don't. And also, most Christians do not want to be cremated. We can't find out if there's an autopsy or not. Some say there is, some say there ain't. It's just question after question. When I first heard this, I said, oh my God, this is like JFK, and just burst into tears. And I had no idea why I had that reaction. I only knew this young man as the college campus proved me wrong, boy. And yeah, to me, he was a boy. I have a grandson not much younger than that. and also an Army veteran. And I see these things and I can't wrap my head around how you could go in any direction other than this was an inside job. I don't know if they, although, how did this kid know? Yeah, maybe he would have found out maybe the day before where the tent is and who's going to be seated. And how do you know that particular place would be open? How did he know I'd have a narrow window of sight? How did he know he could shoot in one kill shot? How did he know all these things? Supposedly, the head of security lied, lied out, and I mean lied on their fucking words. Okay, like we just came down with the morning dew, idiot. Well, I was right there. I had to put my hand in the wound, and I was going to get this. He talks like an evangelicist, however that's said. I don't like them. And I don't understand the mass majority of millions who actually go in there like little puppets and make sure they have two nice planes to travel around in. Just slap them once. I mean, what the? You just do. You just want. I do. I want to wake him up and say, really? He needs another plane? Type that money. Then I found out there's all these Calvary churches involved. I'm scared for Candace Owens. Hey, girl, it's to you. Stay safe. Well, she is pretty devout in her faith, but I just wonder what's going on in that head because she's running around and she's getting all this information. She puts it out there. She brings her receipts. Excuse me, I think I have to talk to somebody off camera. What you want, dear? Okay. It'll be a bit. I just got up here, and that was my husband. The bar sits just at the dividing door that goes from, or used to go, from one room into the kitchen. So we've used the bar and blocked that whole side up. And of course, the mirrors are on the wall on the other side. So we don't have a lot of space. We keep saying we downsized. And every time we turn around, it's like, damn, what if we have to move again? This is the longest I've lived in one place in my entire life. And I'm still surprised every day when I wake up and there's no boxes. So, yeah, in any event. So that's what Candace was up to for the last couple of days. I hope she actually takes more time with the kids and herself. She's gotten some beautiful relics in her travels. And I was also surprised to learn that she was Catholic. I was raised Catholic, but they threw me out of church a lot. I used to ask that. Wrong questions. We'll just put it that way. They did not like those questions. And I would argue with a bishop, but it didn't make a difference to me. I argue with the TV. Maybe that'll be my thing. Hey, AJ, Hecklefish. Love Hecklefish. I need to get me one of those. When I first started this, I thought, well, it'd be a little unusual because it's going to be broadcast from the bar. It was just the easiest place for us to do it, have a lot of room. And my guests could just pony up to the bar. Most people do not want to be on television. Is that not unusual? I get asked that a lot, especially in my live chat. How do I just get up here and tell you guys what I'm up to and answer all of you? So don't forget, if you don't catch me live today, throw something down in the comments. I'll get back with you either this evening or tomorrow morning. Since I'm going to take the hiatus with Thanksgiving, and I don't do weekends anymore. I used to do the weekends before. I was severely injured and I was out for 10 months. So we had to make a new one. We had to make a whole new channel out of it. My husband's done bought me like 3 sets. Nothing wrong with the sets. It's just me. But they all have a problem with going on. They're shy, which is very strange to me. I find it very strange. One of them is a DJ kind of thing. I forget what they might call it, a DJ. I can't remember. It's been so long that since I've been asked out to any bar. I mean, we used to go to Logan's a lot. I like to sit at the bar and we'll take the food home to eat because she still had problems with his throat. So that's been, a little bit of a save. And then, of course, while I was completely off my feet, I just reached out. I wanted to try it for a year. It was Walmart Plus, Kroger Plus, Sam Plus. We had them all, and they're all like 4 miles distance or less. And here I am. I'm so, bandaged up and casted up, and I can't do crap, but I could get on there and order. So instead of saying, Robert, can you go pick up this or that? It would just be ordered to deliver. So I didn't bother him with that because he and his friend who uh, owned the trucking company were going around with their backhoes and trying to help people get these things off their roofs, get them cut up, get them out to the curb. Because there were also roving Hispanic people that were coming through and saying they could do it for 6,000, but they had to have 3,000 up front for pay purposes. So people paid them, and then went, well, they never come back. Just I don't care how much duct tape you fucking use, you cannot fix stupid. So, but he was out there doing that. Not that it was cheap for them to do. And some of the equipment they had to rent. It's not. It's a lot of equipment you're running. We had trees down in at our house. We had woods on back and front. They're almost all gone. I can see the path that the tornado took. We were lucky. We had the big RVs parked in the driveway. We've got a pool behind, and then we've got like a Wonder Lodge. I love that thing. And it's they were all parked against the house. And I've never heard it rain in the master bedroom. That morning was when I was supposed to have surgery, and we could hear the rain, and that freaked me out. That you could hear the rain slashing and hitting the house, even though I've never heard it hit there. And two RVs that are like almost roof high are sitting there, and yet it's just. I'm thinking, the rain's going to come through in a minute. This isn't a big house. I don't think it's very strongly built. We saved our son and daughter-in-law. They had a son at 13, or he did with his first wife. Well, companion. And then he found he was having a baby girl with his wife 13 years later. They were keeping the house, but they were going to move to a big one. They were going to rent this out, like, for the golf game, whatever that is. I don't pay that much attention. Although I do know they spend a lot of money to do it. So they were going to do that, but the bank said, no, yeah, that's just too risky. Somebody's going to take it over. Do you have a family member that wants to move? And of course, he knew that Robert and I were going to go buy a lake house. We were close to retirement age, our 50s. And we were thinking down the road a little bit when that's where we'd rather go when we get out of this rat race that we call life and to senior living, perhaps assisted. We would go this way, and he would be able to fish. We found one cabin that he really loved, and it was right within our price range, a little push. And you could fish off the back porch, basically. I mean, literally, you could cast from the fish. So we were going to check that one out, but we never did because they needed bailing out. And I kind of was very tired. We lived in just below Warner Robins Air Force Base, and I worked there, he worked there, we did back and forth, yeah. Uh, in Macon is like below Macon, and I never liked it. I've moved in and out of here because he's a Georgia boy. That's where he was born and raised. I'm not. I'm from Chicago, and I just get a little crazy down here sometimes. But when I first came down here to meet them, I was an adopted child, adopted by a couple, World War II, Depression, World War One. They were like grandparents, and so we were adopted by them, and they took the stiffener. So when the ladies fainted, they'd get the hooch and give a stiffener, and if they didn't think that was enough, they'd give another one. The women stopped at 3 usually. I like my whiskey on the rocks. Mm, having black cherry wine. And my husband buys these little bottles. I tell you again, the little airplane bottles. They're whiskey fireballs. Once you've drank it, the whiskey give you first bite. The second bite that make your eyes water is all that cinnamon. Just poof. I love that. So most of the time, unless I'm drinking Jack Daniels or something, yeah, I don't like to cut around the bush. I'm one to throw something on the rocks for me. I'll be good because I'm not waiting 40 hours to drink enough to go, hey, I feel happier. No, pour me a shot of this shit. And I get happier. I know I jump from topic to topic. I try not to. It's like talking to somebody else. It's in my head. It's like I'm not talking to me on the screen. I'm talking out here to you guys. Social Woodstock. Why can't we get together here and talk and laugh and learn with each other? It's the best thing. I had so much fun the first year before I got so severely injured. And I think it will just take time. So if you do see me share, like, just tell somebody about it. If you're in Georgia, and if you're going to be in the Augusta area, contact me and I will be so happy to have you come up. And if you would like to do that, we could do it through Zoom. And because like I said, my guys, they don't want to do it. They're just too shy, I guess. And they don't show any of that when I'm talking to them at this bar or any other bar. But you tell them that they're going to be on camera. They're like, I didn't say I was going to set a pit bull against him or some shit. I just, and we have great discussions about so much politics, religion, which seems to be everywhere these days and in nonstop fashion. And I do hope Candace Owens, and to wrap that one up, that she continues, and she will. I love you, little girl. I've been watching a long time, and pray for your safety every day. But like I said, I was raised Catholic. I call it high holidays. That's what I am. I practice high holidays, Easter, Pentecost, Ash Wednesday. There's a few. But since they kept kicking me out, I went around the world being Army. My son was born in Heidelberg, Germany, which he still wanted me. He says he's from San Antonio. And he was. He was pretty much raised there. If I did leave, I'd stay a year, 2 years tops, kind of, and transfer back out to San Antonio because I would miss it so bad. But now you couldn't pay me to live there after what they did at the border. It's a nightmare. These people, their cars are broke into, their homes are broke into. It was so bad. But then we get President Trump. Hey, Donnie, I like him. I think he's funny as hell. I did not like him and was aware of him. He was on Fresh Prince, and with his other wife, Marla. I can't think of her name. Before Melania, and she is a great first lady. I think she has style, grace. I think she has all of that, poise. I think she's a damn good fit for first lady. I hadn't seen a good one since Jackie Kennedy, which again gives you my age. But they scared the shit out of Jacqueline Kennedy. She got home, well, to the White House, grabbed her kids, and was gone in I think less than 2 days. So yeah, and she kept them in New York. She didn't let them into politics. And then her son did the magazine George, and she liked it apparently, but she was frightened, I think. And then John Jr. suddenly decides he's going to a wedding. He flies them. He's always flown that path. They don't find him for 5 days. They cremate him, throw him back in the same spot. And the whole thing about taking 5 days is because they didn't file a flight path. Well, how about the other 12,000 you got here that he did? How about you start there? No, they're way the fuck off. Again, shades of JK. Same with Charlie Kirk. I don't know if we'll ever get the truth, but we sure have a lot more than the Zapruder film. And the CEO turned and put his phone up and was walking away. He wasn't a foot from Charlie. Charlie had not hit the ground yet. And he was already off stage on the phone and head down the parking lot. Way down the parking lot. Not how are we going to transport her? Should I call 911? Is he okay? Can you guys see? Nothing. And then there's another one that goes, Charlie Kirk just got shot. Charlie Kirk he's doing a selfie. Charlie's been shot. He's dead. How did he fucking know? He was the other one that just fucking walked away. Walked away. As if nothing was going on. This guy wasn't running, ducking, none of that. There was one report. Now, the head of security said that they heard the second slap him. And that's, yeah. If you've been in wars and people have been hit, you're going to hear a second sound, which is that we call it the slap. And he had jumped on top of Charlie, supposedly, with his hand in the wound, which tells you that the tiny hole that you saw was not the wound. if it once it finished just blowing this out, it would have just been gushing blood because it's already cut your neck purportedly from C2 to T1, the thoracic one, and stuck in the shoulder blade. Well, that ain't no fucking 30-06, folks. I'm here to tell you. I know some friends of mine went and looked about too, and I went to see it. A couple of friends of mine were all military or veterans. We have a lot of military with my son at the base and my daughter at the base. So we all, there's some of us old ones, some of the new ones, or like my grandson who did do things, but he got out. But they've all stayed in touch because this medium is great for doing that. I wish I'd had this. So, yeah, a lot of people have been out there checking this, using a 30-06. Well, for one thing, they're saying, oh, he broke it apart. You couldn't break that puppy apart. Not like it, you had to have 5-10 minutes. You had to. There's different screwdrivers, so forth, the stock on just. And this thing he had a sight on it like this. This is supposed to have been a World War One rifle, 30-06. No, it ain't. And if it is, somebody put a composite stock on it, like what's his name? I can't think of his name now, but that he had talked about anyway. Joe Rogan. Hey, Joe. And I adore him. Been watching Sisters Radio. It was a tragedy there. So I hope everybody does keep digging. They're saying, oh, you're making it worse if you look, and if you do this, and if you did, look. If you hear something, you say something. I've been seeing the damnedest shit. I had no idea he was a millionaire. I had no idea he had a military corporation that was worth millions. The security team who did not do anything were paid millions of dollars a year, and he owned the flatbed company. I don't know. The whole thing is just so weird. And I can't see this 22-year-old bitch getting up there, knowing which roof, knowing how to do that, knew what his vectors were. He knows how to get that bullet in. It's one shot, kill shot. He knew all that. He's 22. He's not had any training, but he knew all that shit. My happy ass. No. Even after all the time I spent in the military and continue uh, to fire, especially my own fire weapons, weapons, period, and keep them clean and all that. My husband had quite a collection, and he had a 30-06. And we sat on the back porch on the lanai, had it spread out on the picnic table, and you have to take the stock off. I mean, the sight off. You have to take the stock down. There's no way. Now, was the gun waiting up there? Was the weapon up on top of the roof? Could be. You could see where somebody was in the forward leaning position to fire. And I hate to say this, but my husband's a sniper. I'm only a marksman. Um, and I got my ribbon too, but that's good enough for me. I'm a 5'2" woman, and we were the first company of women to train with the men instead of the WAC Corps. Look up Private Benjamin with Goldie Hawn. She's doing me. It's close. It's not that close. Whatever the men did, we had to do. If they did 50 push-ups, we did 50 push-ups. I had rank, but that's another story. So, I mean, shit flows uphill. If you've got rank, you're it. And most people who go and have none, if they might be a buck private. I was a little higher than that. And so I thought, I'm never going to make this. But they said, oh, you can leave and it won't be anything against you. Just won't be able to do military because the WAC training is closed. You can't just say, oh, I'll go back to that because it's not coming back. We're going to train soldiers. If you want to be in the Army, you're a soldier, not a female. Well, that put the hackles up on me. I was like, watch this shit. I am not going to fail to talk to the girls who was with me. And I was like, you can bend. Don't you fucking dare break. Do not give these rat bastards a chance to see that the women could break. Oh, fuck, I'll bring it on. And they did. We were young. Well, I was just almost 18. I had the parents' signature to go, but it was WAC Corps that we thought. So I'm short, I'm young. I'm from Chicago. I don't have a record. He decided to name me Wicked. Little bastard, that name has stuck my entire life. I use it. My grandson sets up email or whatever. There's Wicked somewhere in there. Same with the bars. I got frustrated. It's usually my last channel was Lady Hippy at the bar. And so I just got frustrated and put, Wicked Lady at the bar live. So y'all know I'm up here. I try to get up here no later than noon. Some days I'll make it between 10 and 12, and sometimes I get in between 12 and 2. Hit the bell, you'll know when I'm coming up. If not, you can just do the search, and all the videos are there. If there's any of the back ones that you want to ask a question on, please do. I try to go back through. I'm not great at it. I do not make money doing this. I am not averse to making money doing this, but I reckon I'm going to need some people to interview or something different. Again, I thought it was great, and I still do. That I have the bar to broadcast from. I'm still working on those. I know to do some type of a broadcast. The husband's not down with it either. I have nobody behind me. It was, here's your equipment. No, we're not touching that shit with a 10-foot pole. We're not going on. Are you nuts? Penny up. Penny, pick them up. They're okay. I have two kittens in what I call the NICU. And when they have to have shots, treatments, things like that. Penny, I put them in the master bedroom suite because then I can take care of them. And that grew from me being pretty much bedbound. So it was the kitty ICU, and they're all fine now. And I've got Penny. Penny came in. He was a baby. We raised him. They were all bottle fed. There were four of them. And somehow he got out in the winter weather. And here mainly it's cold and wet. And so I would catch a glimpse of him and pray he didn't get killed. And I guess once they all had the babies and everything, because he was he was the sweetest little thing when he went out. He did not meow. I never heard him meow. Now he screams. We saw him on the porch. I fed him on the front porch. And I did that again the next day because I was so glad to see him. Most of the time you saw him maybe once a week, flying by. And I was like, oh my God. And so I lectured him and about he was all wet. It was cold. And he looked at me and I said, if you want to come back in the house, you have to walk in yourself. And I opened the door and went to walk in, and he went right in that door. Never said that we said that your animals don't know what you're saying. They do. I've tried using Spanish and German on them. They just look at me like, really, this is the best you got? How many ways can you say no? I see I'm running out of time already here, fellas. Don't know what's up with these Epstein files. Some of them he's working for the FBI, working for CIA, yada yada. He work for shit now. And from what I saw, the pictures of his cell, I didn't believe a damn thing after that. He had a top bunk, and on that top bunk were right at the edge tons of bottles of medicine. Bitch, they don't give you your shoestrings. You think they're going to give him 20 medicines? Wasn't just one or two. It was down the whole railing. Then they showed what he supposedly killed himself with. It looked like a red scarf, but they said it was a sheet. They just brought him in off suicide watch, but they're going to let him have all of that stuff. They bring that shit in a paper cup in the hospital. What do you mean they let him keep all that shit there? No, the fuck they did. That made me suspicious right there. And I just saw that footage. And I was like, I don't know what this is about, but it smacks of government. I don't know why the government keeps doing this. They eventually always fuck it up. It's like, fucked up, 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 fucked up. To quote Cat Williams, love you, Cat. I love it when he does that. Fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. Again, not for children. Not for children. You're lucky I'm not up here playing poker off on the side. Like play poker for shots. We will see, I don't know what type poker, it doesn't matter. And you would get a lighter and you would put it in the middle of the table and spin it when somebody did win. And wherever the lighter pointed, that's who got the shot, not the winner. That's the winner got it. But that's, yeah. We can entertain ourselves fairly well, especially at home now. We don't get a lot of traffic. That's the good thing. Being retired, there's not too many. We're in Augusta, so that's far enough from his family. I'm the last surviving member of my family, other than my descendants, my son and his children. And so I'm in a very weird world. I spent 45, 50 years in massive cities. DC, San Antonio, Dallas, Houston, whatever. And Europe, of course, I ran all over Europe. And here I get here, they don't have a fucking bus. I didn't want to pay what it is like to when you're in the big city, if you can drive around in it. You have to pay to park. I mean, even though I'm at the university, I run my own division. I'm supposed to pay them 2 grand a year to park my car. It's like, oh fuck no. That bus is 30 cents a month. I'm taking it. And I gotta pay good money. I mean, I could have done that, but I didn't see any point of fighting through the traffic, paying insurance, getting gas, keeping it maintained to drive into work, which was I think 6 miles. And because I was in Chevy Chase at one point, and we had moved locations there. I worked with my ex mother in law, brilliant woman, and she had started she had it on the ground, the food stamp program. And I had as high a clearance as you could get, as well as civilians. So I popped in. So we were also the ones that put the back then it was EBT, I believe, or just food stamps. I'm not sure. We just put the program together so it would work. You know, this money comes from here. It pays this. They get this. It's not as easy as it sounds. But she was the only woman. We had a typing test. I type 148 words a minute without errors. She typed 149 without errors and never let me live that down. She would not do that test again either. I'm not even sure if we had the same damn test at this point. But I liked her and I respected her a lot. She is gravely missed. Um, we've gotten through half of my what ifs up here because I haven't gotten anybody on live chat this morning. I was hoping I would. I see. Yeah, I haven't looked at comments. I don't think I've got any comments yet. The problem with doing this is if I jump up here between 12 and 1, everybody's at lunch. There is a good backup to that, though, because if you just search me on YouTube, you're going to pull up whichever one you wanted, just like you do with anyone else. If you want to talk about something, I would so love to hear from you. Throw it in the comments. We'll get together. Bring your own bottle. It kind of loosens me up during the day. Have you noticed? Does that look smoked to you? And this is why it allows me. I think it because it kind of teases me, so I think he gets a kick out of that. You can't tell with him. So this is an indulgence. Talking to you, having my little cigarilla. I repeated a little twice there. Having a nice fireball and talking to people and trying to get everybody to come on board. Not just Joe Rogan. These guys have the Hollywood guests. That's great. That's really great. And I love to see that. I watch them. Shay, all of them. And subscribe to most of them. Like I said, AJ, heck of fish, hey guys. So I have paranormal trimmings, slapped ham, all that I try to go through. Early in the morning, I try to do the politics because it's so fucking whack. These people are so lost and they have so controlled the United States peoples that I almost want to throw up while packing to leave for Scotland. See if I can find Rosie O'Donnell, Miss Island. My ancestry is British, Scottish, and Irish. My husband is straight Native American, Creek Native. He's a card carrying Native American. He is registered with the Indian Bureau, and it's the government one, so that he could. At the time, he was also he was chief in standing, so he was doing all these things and these programs. Even I went sometimes, and at that point, I didn't know if I was or wasn't. They kept saying I was, and my hair color kept telling them, "Nah, that's a much." But there was supposed to be some red-haired at McIntoshes, which is the family descendant of Scottish line and the Native Americans. So I went along. It was a lot of fun. I didn't know these people from Adam, and I'll tell you now, you adoptees, run. Do not walk. Run. If they've got your address and phone number, move. Do not, I repeat, do not contact them. Don't call them. Don't talk to them. Run. Just don't do it. It never, ever turns out well. I'll tell you. It just doesn't. You can work your fanny off trying to be the best little relative to everybody that's finally met you after 30 years. It won't do you a slip of good. Just go. Change your name, hair color, and run like jackrabbits. I mean, if I had a clue, that's exactly what I would have done. But the sister called, and the little sister, and she was my sister. They were adopted. We were adopted together. So she calls and she's crying and she's going, "Yeah, you gotta go. You're the big sister." I'm like, "I'm killing you. Beat me there. I'm gonna kill you." So that again, that's just a little piece of advice. Take it or leave it, however you want. Let's see. I still have a few minutes left. There hasn't been a hell of a lot that I really wanted to see, except for in politics and religion, since the two are seem to be quantified now. They're all together. I don't understand that. When they did the shutdown, it's because Chuck Schumer said so. Who the fuck is Chuck Schumer? How come he's voting for all the fucking senators? He done been there 50 years. 50 years. And you tell me he didn't buy that seat out every damn time. You probably can't find somebody in his district that ever voted. And if they did, somebody voted for him by using their name. I don't buy that Pelosi and Schumer and the rest have been there 50 years because they did any fucking thing. They didn't do shit, but they did pass the bill, but they snuck in the hemp thing. These sons of bitches sometimes I just, brought there by the people for the people. What fucking people? I can't ever find anybody who says, "Oh yeah, I voted for that slime ball." I mean, I quit voting. It's like Donald Trump said, "I won the electoral college, and I won the popular vote, and I won the popular vote." Look it up. Google's got that shit. Makes no sense to me either. This gerrymandering and districts and electoral college, and this one's got 5 Republicans, but it doesn't have any Democrats. But here's their what the hell happened to the secret ballot? You went in, you pulled the little curtain, you voted, you didn't have a sign on the lawn, you didn't have a light that had, I mean, a hat that lit up. You just, it screams, hey, why? Why in the name of all that's holy do you people want everybody else to know who you're voting for? You don't think that might be a trade secret, fellas? You think the world might get along a little fucking better if you shut your damn mouth with buying their signs and just pull the curtain and fucking vote? It's not rocket science. It's just not. Uh, and then get up there and bitch because somebody stole your sign, or although the one that electrified his was pretty fucking funny. Yeah, the Trump sign kept disappearing from across the street, and he knew that he had film of her. But apparently, nothing could be done, at least by local cops, if they did show up, which would be amazing. So, he's like, okay. And he let that bitch up. I fell down laughing. Show it again. He had his own little taser weapon set up out there she didn't know about. I like these little scarves, but I don't like them always around both sides. They're cute. Wrong side, yeah, it's a cute little. I love these little brooches. This one's a blue jay, and I was like, well, maybe it'll stay nice a little longer. It's kind of cool at night in the 40s, but it still pops up in the middle 70s out here. It's Augusta. That's one of the things I love about it. Again, if you're going to be out here, put it in the comments. I'll get in touch with you. I will shift topics, talk about anything you want. I haven't seen, I didn't have a chance last night. Again, I don't know why, but my days go by faster after retirement. I had people going, "Oh, you don't want to retire. You just be bored still." Yeah. What the hell do you people do then when you're? I can't get a house clean in a day, but I have cats, and a husband is also a mechanic. He's always been an ace mechanic as well. So he's got several hats, and he makes fairly good money. Whereas I was more like I run the office and do the back things, and then in the medical field they started getting rid of us and replacing us with the doctors doing it. So luckily I was up on retirement age, working out for me real well. I love that backlash of cinnamon. You recognize the old Coke glasses? I had a set of blue. I had a set of green. I'm down to one blue one. It's the only one left. Can't find any. Used to buy them, of course, at McDonald's. And like I said, we moved a lot. And there was always something to make it. And these glasses just kept breaking. And finally, I put it off limits and put it in the china cabinets. Don't touch it. And I'm looking in there today going, what's them where it goes with blue? And I was like, oh, I haven't done the Coca Cola. I have a black cherry Coca Cola. I do not know what they call them down here. When I first started going around the world, I called it a soda pop because that's what they called it in Illinois. Can I buy a soda pop? You could if we had a soda pop. They could have been a little less asinine about that, but I finally learned that most people know them as sodas, not soda pops. Chicagoans are weird like that. Can't never tell. But again, I'm getting close to my time. I don't see anybody, even like I said, even on live chat. Um, and I don't see my comment section. So, I mean, this is a ground to start for me. I'm just going to use this as a startup because I had to go to the new channel anyway. But if there is anybody out there and you do see me, you think there's something that we could discuss. I'm sure there's something with everybody, be it ghosts, UFOs, the weather, which volcano went off this time? Did Santorini stop getting earthquakes? Some bridge was destroyed by a what? Tons of shit up here to talk about. When I was coming up, my parents always said, you can't talk about politics, can't talk about religion. Boy, were they fucking right. Yeah, every day. It seems like I'm up here talking about politics or me, trying to get people caught up to what's going on here. So I'm going to have to stop doing that. Let you guys throw something in here and say that you'd rather do something like that. I can't believe that it's social Woodstock. It's free and there's no mud. You can dial in from Timbuktu and tell me I hate the what you're wearing. I need you to get off. You're old. I don't care. Just do something. They like these algorithms. Ugh. And after a while, it's blurry for me when I take my glasses off. I had surgery on both eyes. It seems to have made them worse. But after a little bit, my glasses give me a real hard time. All three sets. I get a headache from that. And right now, all of us seem to be like having cold and flu. I can't figure that out. We're either real nasal or we're not, but we got these headaches right there, which is sinus headaches. And I went to the store day before yesterday, didn't buy me any Anacin. Tylenol, they kept telling me after my accident, take Tylenol. I really wanted to slap some doctor. I just slap him. I didn't say I'd hit him and pound his face into the dirt. I just wanted to slap him. They frown on that and tell him, here's 2 Tylenol, the extra strength. Go on, get you some ice. I'm just evil like that. I don't know. Somebody started finally working out that. Oh, stop that. Stop. They finally worked out that people are so taxed that this is too much. And it doesn't seem fair. Wrong way. I hate it when it does that. You're not even drinking anything. I don't know if it's an old thing, like heat flashes or whatever the hot flashes. That suddenly I'm just choked and I'm not drinking anything. I'm looking around going, what the hell? My glasses were bothering me too. So another thing, like I said, I'm going to get off the air shortly. Yeah, I fidget. Get over it. Uh, those of you who are in New York, I will pray for you. I will pray for you. That's all I got to say about that one. Except for Cash Jordan, love you, Betty. Stay safe. Stay real. Don't get hurt. This boy's good too. Cash Jordan, look him up. He's got some great stuff on there. A lot about he's going around looking at the migrants. He had a lot of information. I liked him because he would show the apartments and how much the apartment was. And when you had a toilet, a place to put a small day bed, twin size, a TV, and a tiny table, and a lamp, and a cooking stove, and a little refrigerator for $14.50 a month. I mean, it was something. I mean, it was something. They have gotten innovative about how to put these things together now. So he also showed some really lovely ones, but they were all in the 4 to 8,000 range, if not more. And then they're saying they're going to put a freeze on whether they can raise their prices. And I'm like, oh God, what have they done to themselves? I'd like to know also why we have sanctuary cities. That's secession from the Union. That's secession. That's civil war. That's treason. It's treason. What the hell? So Seattle gets to be its own place? Chicago is its own place? San Francisco? LA? Have you looked at those cities lately? Are they still standing? Not really. No. Not by much if they are. Yeah, go in and burn down the dollar store and take all the stores merchandise from everyone that you can see and get to. Yeah, your mom will be able to work tomorrow morning. Yeah, your wife will be able to go buy that baby food. You jerks. Shame on all of you. Just shame. Shame, shame, shame. How could you be so stupid? You're biting the hand that's feeding you. Most of these were immigrants that I saw and being detained if ICE could catch them. Some of them were fighting back against ICE and they were just the community members. It's like with the college and universities and Free Palestine bullshit. They were flooding them with people from everywhere, and yet they all had signs, they had bricks they could throw, that was all set up. I want to know who they are. I want to know who they are. I want you people to follow the fucking money and get these little bastards because they've been destroying our country for now on 15 years now. If you don't stop it while this man is in office, you might as well set off all the nukes at once and stand under them because it's sedition on steroids. Look up the Civil War. The only thing they haven't done is fire the cannon at Fort Sumter. I mean, whether they got mayors or governors, I don't know. They say they want no kings. What the fuck are they? They were elected to be mayor, governor. Oh, we're going to lock this down. Same with the Chuck Schumer thing. I didn't get it. How does one man tell another 140 odd people, you have to vote this way? Well, fuck off. I'm here to represent the people, not your damn ass. Go get back in that geriatric home you was pushing all the COVID patients into. But yes, I know that was the other one, but he was just a spam. And of course, after they all decided they'd like to keep their paychecks, they decided they'd pass the bill. And then they dropped the ball if they had the ball. Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, says, I've got them coming in. They weren't there to vote. The House wasn't. It had to pass the House again to go to the president. You have to have a little courier. It's the same paperwork. And they sign off, and then I guess they archive, what have you. But it took them like into the third day after the Senate signed it or ratified it. Passed that puppy. They got up there, and there wasn't anybody on the Republican side of the House that could vote. In fact, I don't think there was anybody there. I think the speaker, Mike, stayed there. But it was just, to me, it was so stupid. You knew you were going to get this passed eventually. But you send these people home and they get a paycheck, and you can't get these people to sign off on shit so the rest of the world can finish getting their paycheck. And you don't know how, I don't think any of you even realized, and I didn't either. If you're a month behind on something, you just stay behind because you're still scrambling to keep up with all this. So if they take a void of your life of almost 7 weeks of no paycheck, you're already through, basically. If you can catch up, it'll be probably because you're eating top ramen for 4 years. So where are the protesters on that? And it wasn't Trump's fault. Nope. You lay a lot of blame at that man's door that he fit not be any of that. Although the gold and white thing's been overdone, Tim is just done to death. If you haven't seen inside Trump Towers, look it up. All gilt and white. It's just dazzling bright. I was like, man, I could walk in some of them rooms. Like, just too much white. Um, and marble and white columns. I mean, they did do a nice job on Trump Towers, I gotta say. Now he's doing it to the White House, and I think it's funny as fuck. He knocked down the East Wing with a ball. It's not his house. It is while he's president, and it will be for the next. So instead of having Obama's tennis court, which cost, I believe, 33 million, don't quote me on that, but that was taxpayer money. This ballroom, the Rose Garden being transferred, none of that was with taxpayers' money. That was with Donald Trump's money and with the donors that wanted the White House to look beautiful. Didn't need 15,000, and it doesn't have, but squared up rooms that do nothing in, but they're kind of cute. You got some good carpet because you don't let anybody in. It just, he'd been to Dubai. As a businessman, he's been everywhere. And, when I was working there in the 80s, I kept saying, it's not the White House, it's the Gray House. Fucking find somebody a paintbrush. Had a senator of the Watergate Hotel was still there. I don't know why it's worked down, but they did. And I used to go up there to have lunch. Basically, it was a 2 martini lunch and a Valium. And one of the senators, I'm going to mention his name, he says, you got to stop that. You got to leave because somebody go shoot you. It's like every time I went, it was always saying, somebody's going to shoot you. And I'm like, dude, are you here all the time? Because I might come in at 3 o'clock one day. I might not come in for a month. And then I might come in on a Saturday. He was always there. Always there. Never paid for a drink in my life. And it was fun to pick at. But I did decide it was a little too hot. So, and I have a child and I'm a single mother. So, yeah. Was never going to marry again. Married him. And, been a pretty good one because I know how to do my own divorce and I don't need an attorney. That's another story. Others say I should write another book. My time is up, just about. So I hope you've seen me. I hope you liked whatever the hell it was I talked about because I go from topic to topic so fast, even I'm confused. Don't say it. That's like they asked me for my ID, and I'm like, sure. And my age is a state secret. I will hunt you down. They seem to understand I'm very serious about that. In the meantime, I'm going to pop on out. I have stuff to do. The husband's hungry, and it takes me a while. You have to forgive me. I tried to get things finished, and I've got stuff everywhere. And my whole bottom floor is basically the bar. So if you do see anything that's out of place, just know I intended it to be better shape, but I didn't get to that today yet. Again, hit me in the comments if you want to. Hit the bell, click on there. So apparently it's now clicks that we're supposed to get. So I could use a few of those. And well, hell, it's almost through this week and it's a short week next week. So party on. Catch me up later. I'll be in between 10 and 12 or 12 and 2. I'm so helpful, right? Ta.